Heyo, welcome guys. So I need to do the dishes and a little bit of cleaning, so I figure I might as well just go live and answer any questions anyone might have. So leave them in the chat if you have any questions. And once I see people, if I see people are asking questions and stuff, then I'll keep staying live. Otherwise, I'll log out probably. Hey guys, welcome. Put that over there. Yeah, so I'm trying to see if I should be doing more live streaming. Basically, just answering any questions you guys might have about anything that to do with analytics, data science, data analytics, anything like that. So feel free to leave them in the chat below. No specific, nothing's really off limits. If I don't see many questions coming in, then we'll probably just log out for the day. But I wanted to see if anyone would be interested in a live stream around now. What's up, Ollie? Welcome. Thanks for joining in. Hey, Mellow Dave. And let me know if the water's a little bit too, it makes too much noise. If it does, I can try putting in some headphones that might help. Yo, what's up, Ellen? Quant or data science? You got to be more specific, man. So when you say quant, are you talking about like a quantitative analyst, like at an investment bank, or a data science person? Because to my knowledge, quants basically only work in finance, but data scientists can work in literally anything. So what do you? Yeah, working for a hedge fund. I'll put it this way: you won't make more, at least in the U.S., right? Everything I say is about the U.S. You won't make any more money than you can working in like finance. Even software engineers like Facebook and stuff. Like if you're a software engineer, like a major hedge, or maybe not a hedge fund, but like Two Sigma or something, I think they make even more than like entry level Facebook people. So if all you care about is money, or you're interested in finance, then I think being a quant is definitely a great profession to go into. Finance doesn't interest me myself, only because I'm not particularly thrilled with the idea of moving money from one area to another area. It's not to diminish the difficulty of what people do, but I've also never heard anyone in finance that's described the profession as any different than just moving around money. All right. Your thoughts on reconverting to data engineering? Data engineering is a great profession. Pays more than data science on average. Did you use data to find the optimal time to wash dishes? Actually, yes. I was looking at my YouTube stats, and I'm like, okay, now's a good time to get on. So I just finished work. I'm actually working on a new day in the life of a data analyst video, where I'm going to be working with Google Data Studio, and I'm a little bit excited because it'll be the first time I've done a video that doesn't involve coding. So it'll be fun because I need to show people that a lot of data analyst work isn't coding. You don't have to be coding all the time for data analysis. First CS year student. Okay, nice. Yeah, no, quants are incredibly smart people. I know a couple of them, but yeah, I'm just not into finance personally. It just doesn't interest me, nor do I think. Yeah, maybe it's just me. I don't know if we need more finance people in the world. Let's see. Hey, Rahul, welcome. Wake up now, your turn. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. But that being said, if you, I guess it depends on what you're into. But I mean, you can make a ton of money as a data scientist. The difference between data analyst and business analyst. Okay, so I'll get to your question in a second. Okay, so the difference between a business analyst and a data analyst. Okay, so largely speaking, I think a very hacky slashy difference, because again, my first title was business analyst, even though I was more of a data analyst. A business analyst works more closely with the business and typically will be more worried about getting requirements together and communicating those requirements to a software developer or to a data analyst to build out an analytic tool. Or they might use some Tableau to put some stuff together. So business analysts are the mouthpiece between business, who are your salespeople, your marketing staff, stuff like that, and the people who actually develop the stuff. So your software engineers, engineering, to an extent data analysts. And I think, and data analysts, I would say, for example, if you want to be a data analyst, I can't say you have to know anything, right? Because there's always going to be someone who's going to hire someone who doesn't need that thing. But SQL is a skill I'd say you almost have to have it to be a data analyst, but you don't need that for a data scientist. Okay. How to find projects to boost a CV. Oh, okay. So I get this question a lot, and I really like it. So let me tell you guys a bit of a story. So I personally am when I started my analytics journey, and I wanted to like show off projects and stuff. I just got a bunch of data off of Kaggle and started like building random stuff with it. And by doing that, I realized that I was incredibly bored and I didn't care about a single project I did. And I didn't remember anything I actually ended up doing. So that's why I would actually suggest, think of something you're interested in. So for me, it's cars. I'm a huge car guy. Every country I travel to, I also like to travel. I will go and like look at all the like unique cars they have going on over there. So for example, like going to Panama, one of the coolest things over there is like it's a Western Hemisphere country, and they have every car you find in the U.S., but they have also these like unique cars you can't find here. Like there's something called like the Volkswagen. It's like a Volkswagen pickup truck, but in the United States we have a tariff on foreign pickup trucks because the Europeans have a tax on our chicken eggs or something like that. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm really into cars. So find a subject you're really interested in. Pull your own data. Government data is tremendous. The government has tons of free data. And then just visualize it, and then ask yourself questions. Okay, what do I want to know more about? What do I want to do more with? Okay. I saw you were in Denver last week. Did you enjoy your trip? I'm actually still in Denver right now, but I will be leaving in like 2 weeks to go back to Dallas and go back to my like old setup, which I'm very happy with because I haven't had a big screen to work with while I've been here. Excel or Google Sheets? Ooh, that's that's actually a really, really tough one. So because I'm not a very advanced spreadsheet user, Google Sheets for me, because it's more convenient, the collaboration tools are better, it's easier to access with APIs, and it's free, But that's only because I'm not a particularly advanced Excel user. I think I've heard anyone who I know who's like an advanced Excel user talking about how like Google's not reached feature parity with Microsoft. I mean, I can't comment on that because I'm not advanced enough to do that, but suggestion on the current future graduates in your field landing a job. Ooh, okay. I would say don't be afraid to apply to jobs that say you need at least 3 years of experience. The first job I got said I needed 3 years of experience, and my brother, who's a recent graduate, he graduated just last year. He got a job over some guy with 5 years of experience because what he did is he came into the interview with his laptop and he busted it out and he said, "Hey guys, look at my project." He was interviewing for a software engineer position. The point is he was able to show rather than just tell, and that convinced them to hire him instead of the guy with 5 years of experience. Plus, they could also pay him less. So also understand that as an entry level candidate, one of your advantages is you can take lower pay. All right, engineer from Tunisia. Nice. Cool country. I've always wanted to go. I'll let you know if I go there anytime soon. So I have this rule where every year I need to travel to 2 new countries. And last year it was Romania and Hungary. So I traveled right before, like in February, right before the pandemic started, at least in the US. And I need to go to 2 countries this year. The idea is to go to Korea, and then I have to pick a second country. Okay, so I learned coding libraries like Pandas, Matplotlib. What other skills do you think I should focus on? SQL. You should know SQL. The good thing is you can learn SQL in like a week or 2 if you study full time, because it's fairly easy. So SQL can get super complicated, but you can become competent in it pretty quickly. Do you freelance? Yes, I do. I do freelance, but I'm looking to let go of that sometime soon, because the most depressing thing about freelancing for me personally, because I do a full-time job, I do freelancing, and I do YouTube. So I need to let go of one of these things only because it's way too much work for me. Obviously, I'm not going to let go of my full-time job. YouTube has a significantly higher upside, and I also own everything I do on YouTube. So one of the biggest, most depressing things about freelancing for me is that I make all these cool products for my clients, and because of all the NDAs I sign, I can't ever use that work again. I never see it again. I never get to see it in implementation because I'm a consultant, so I'm just brought in to do one thing and then leave. So freelancing is great. It pays good money, and it's really helping up my living standards. But I need to let go of it at some point in time. But I do have one client I really want to keep because he's just a really, really cool guy. Is your work more project-based or transactional? Project-based for sure. And I think anyone that works in this kind of space is going to be doing project-based work. For ETL, I'm currently using Microsoft Stack, SSIS, okay, and ADF. I'm not sure what Azure Data Factory. Okay. However, I would like to explore other tech stack on my own. Okay. What would you suggest? Alteryx, Python, Airflow? Okay, so I don't know much, I just started using Airflow, and this is Ishan Verma. So I just started using Airflow. I would recommend focusing on like largely used open source tools like Python. You know, everyone uses Python or R. So if you don't have that yet, I'd focus on that. Alteryx, if you know a company you're interested in uses Alteryx, then focus on it. So for example, Ford Motor Company, because you know I'm interested in cars. Ford Motor Company looks for data scientists that know Alteryx, but many other companies don't, for example. So if you have a company you're particularly interested in going to and you know they use a certain tool, then study it. Otherwise, you know, you may not be, you could learn Alteryx, right? And like, I applied to like 90 something companies for like to get into the one I'm in currently, and I only saw Ford require Alteryx. So it's a great tool, but you know, I got to UTD. Nice. So Adil, are you a undergrad or a graduate? Hi from Greece, man. Hello, hello. What time is it in Greece right now? Greece is another cool country. I'd love to go there. Okay, Matt Smith. Do you view data as the most expensive commodity in the world? So Matt, this is actually a really interesting question. Would you mind elaborating on it a little bit? I think like the storage of data is pretty cheap, and the amount of, as far as like the amount of value, if you're talking about like what's the most valuable commodity in the world, so I'm gonna get a little bit political here. It's oil. And I'm not too sure if that's what you were asking, but if we're talking like commodity, 100% it's oil. Like oil is the only thing that can in the world that can replace currency between countries and transactions and stuff like that, because it's so important. And it's part of the reason that the U.S. dollar is the de facto global currencies, because basically all oil transactions are handled in U.S. dollars. And they like the Europeans have tried to do it in like euros and stuff like that, but people only accept the U.S. dollar. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but I'm also a little bit of a geopolitics nut, so y'all get to see some of that too. Okay, Adine, I'm really motivated to change to data engineering. It's a great idea and beloved subject to work on here, but really, yeah. And data engineers get paid really well. And I think data engineers are only going to become more and more important, because everyone keeps hearing about data scientists, and everyone keeps hearing about the hype behind data scientists. But data scientists can only do their work well when there's enough data engineers and there's enough engineering work done. So I would 100% say a data engineer is a tremendous position to get into. But you know, I mean, anything that's worth getting into is going to be difficult. So you know, it'll definitely be difficult. Okay, Smokes 11. About to finish uni next year. Nice, congratulations. How many projects should I have on my portfolio in order to catch an employer's eye? I'd say 2, and make sure they're really good. Make sure you can talk about them, and that's why I keep talking about like find something you're interested in and do a project on that. For example, if like you know you love traveling, then maybe do a project on like analyzing like flight prices from like you know to different locations and stuff like that. I know when a project is designed to have stuff to talk about in an interview. You know, you rarely get into or pass HR with projects, I'd say. They care more about experience, but with a hiring manager, a project gives you a great thing to talk to a hiring manager with. So detail is really important. Okay, how does data analysis compare to data analytics? So I think I'm not sure I really understand your question fully. Rasim Salimov. Okay, hey Shashank, I'm currently a junior studying economics. I recently picked up data analytics as a minor. How can I improve my Python and R skills? I only know the basics and would love to improve. So I always say this, I have a course on Python on my channel that'll teach you all the basics you need to know. After that, it's all about getting a practical experience, I'd say. So I go onto Kaggle and start just trying to do stuff with the Kaggle data over there. You know, just start like trying to pull data. So for example, I learned web scraping because I wanted to get some data on the web, and I knew Python could scrape data from the web. So, you know, I wish I could give you better advice, but it's kind of like try and find a way to give yourself a problem and something to motivate you, and then solve that problem with Python. The good thing is Python is a general purpose programming language, so you can accomplish almost anything with it. You know, it's like you can visualize data, you can clean data, you can ETL it, you can schedule jobs. It can replace basically any tool, not well, but it can replace almost any tool out there. Okay, is ODE really required in data science? I'm not sure I know what ODE means. So Shrithar, if you could expand what ODE actually means, that'd be awesome. Okay, wake up now, your turn, brother. I would like to start the course on data analytics, but I'm not so confident because my education qualification isn't a matter. Higher education should be on it. So the course of data analytics, okay, so I'll be 100% honest with you. Unfortunately, and I'm speaking for the US market, I can't speak for other markets. Unfortunately, in the United States, a lot of places will kick you out, will kick you out of the like applicant pool just if you don't have an education. It's incredibly stupid because my education does not actually. I would say my education is not really taught me what I need to know for what I do. I learned almost everything after college. Um, but yeah, I would definitely say that if you can get a college degree, definitely do. If not, try the Google Data Analytics course. It's really good, and Google, if you finish that course, will count it apparently as a bachelor's degree. Now, it just came out, so no one actually knows what the results of it are, but I've only heard good things about it. Someone on my Discord, which is anyone that's on my Patreon gets to get on my Discord. Someone on my Patreon recently just got onto, or he finished his part of the certification. He says it's quite good, so, you know. Okay, a deal. I'm majoring under data science heading into my junior. Nice. Okay, 2:20 a.m. Great channel, man. We need more quality. Oh, thanks, man. Okay, so I'm really excited, yeah, because for anyone that just joined, I'm definitely going to be doing another day in the life of a data analyst video. I'm hoping to get it out by this weekend, because people seem to really like those videos and they're quite popular. So, is Excel really used in the analytics industry? Hell yeah. Excel's always Excel will never die. You know, you will reach a point where it doesn't make sense to use Excel in certain tasks, but I use it every single day because it is the easiest way to manipulate data unless you're just that good at coding or that like accustomed to coding all the time. Now that being said, obviously, you know, if you have too much data, you need to automate a job, you know, stuff like that, then you have to use Python. But Excel is a tremendous tool, and I will bet money that it'll never go away. Excel or an Excel equivalent. What is the difference between an engineer and an analyst? Engineers build systems to pull from analysts. Yeah, so who does that? That is exactly the difference between an engineer and an analyst. And engineers will build this, like, so for example, like when you, so for example, like say you run a website, right? Or you run an e-commerce website, you'll have this thing called clickstream data, which is basically like just where everyone was clicking on your website. That is a massive amount of data, and you need people whose full-time job it is to like figure out how to like actually pipe that data into a, database that an analyst can actually pull from. So that's why you need data engineers, because there's just so much data being created these days that you need people whose full-time job it is to actually manage it. Okay, so Victor Sanchez, your videos are great. You're really helping me understand what a data analyst does. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I'm trying to help people out with. Okay, Koi Tran, how is the career progression of a data analyst currently deciding whether to go data analyst or business analyst? I'd say a data analyst has a higher career trajectory, but also requires no technical skills. So I personally would suggest a data analyst. If you can get a data analyst job, I highly suggest that. But business analyst jobs are also awesome. Like I know people making six figures as business analysts. It's 100% possible. It just usually requires more experience to do that. Okay, Rasim Salimov, thank you for the answer. It's quite late in Azerbaijan, so okay, see you later, man. Ordinary differential equation. So what was required for data science? So here's the thing, okay. So you'll go okay, so I'm not a data scientist, so I should be very clear with people. I am not a data scientist, but I work with a lot of data scientists. I'm trying to become a data scientist, so I have some idea of like what's going on in the industry. Data scientists, like job requirements, will have like 1 trillion things on them, and they call these people, like the people that can actually do all that stuff are called like unicorn data scientists. So I would say like no, the only things that are necessary for a data scientist, in my opinion, you know, and some people will disagree with me on this, but like there have to be some requirements. You have to know how to code in some language, basically manipulate large amounts of data, and that almost always requires coding. You need to know how to visualize data really well. You need to know statistics, have a basic knowledge of calculus at least, and you need to know, I'm probably missing some stuff over here. Probably machine learning to some extent. Ordinary differential equations is like a really specific thing. What I would say is that all data scientists I know spend a lot of time reading papers, and they don't necessarily know all the math before getting into the job, but they have the ability to learn it. I think that's the big thing, because a data scientist job is kind of like a regular scientist job in the sense that like a regular scientist will like have a problem in front of them. They'll read all the literature, and then they'll say, okay, like which one has the best solution? And having that basic understanding of how to like understand the literature is really important. So I would say no specific thing is quite necessary, but you need to have the ability to learn it. So like a good mathematical mind is probably something that you would need. Okay, so Ramandika Triputra, okay. Do you oftenly doing hypothesis testing in your work? I personally don't. I know some people who do here and there. I've done it once I had this task at a company where I had to prove using ANOVA testing that there was a significant variance in the quality of batteries coming from one factory versus another. But that was the only time I've ever really used it. Okay, OEXGO. Hi, do you think it would be better to start as a freelancer like on Upwork and then try and apply to a company? I think the good thing about something like Upwork is that it gives you something to do and it gives you real experience. So I would say try full-time applying. If you find after 3 months you're not really getting any traction, or maybe 2 months, then start doing Upwork. And the good thing is Upwork doesn't have to get in the way of your applying. But you should definitely get a full-time job. Like, Upwork is great and all, but I am skeptical that you can make. I don't think it's the smartest move to make a full-time career over there for most people. You know, if you're one of those like elite guys that like Upwork themselves promote, then paying Upwork the 10 to 30% of your every like dollar you make is worth it. Like, some people just get promoted that highly on Upwork, but otherwise I wouldn't build a career on it personally. Adil Zubair, also love the tutorials. Or looking forward to chapter 5. Awesome. I'm so glad. So those videos, the machine learning videos, do not do as well, but I will keep cranking them out. One, because I'm learning it myself, and two, because some people really do like them. But yeah, they sometimes get lower priority because they don't perform as well as my other videos. And I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I have to get some of the numbers. Okay, Mav on Day. Flopped my last interview. Got another one next week. New content helps. Hey, dude, you know what? You got this. It's a numbers game, and we can't all ace all interviews. Like, I've flopped more interviews than I've or when I first started, I was flopping more interviews than I'm like doing well at. Now I do pretty well on interviews, but it's only because I've done so many of them. Okay. Okay. Saw one of your videos. Is it really interesting to look forward to watching all of it? Do you mentor someone looking for a job? Sent a request on LinkedIn. Hey, Praveen. So I don't offer one-on-one mentorship right now, only because I don't think that's scalable. And if I gave that opportunity to one person, I have to give it to a bunch of people. So I'm thinking like maybe I would offer like a service at one point in time, but like I have to be 100% honest with you. Like, between YouTube, my full-time job, and my freelancing, I don't have much time left over. So no, long story short, I don't. But if you're on my Discord group, I do try and offer some better advice and encouragement over here. Like, we had one guy who was talking about applying to jobs as an entry-level guy, and I told him, oh, go apply for like 3-year jobs that require 3 years of experience as well, because they are like, my first job required 3 years of experience. So although I can't promise on the Discord group, it's definitely a lot more likely I'll respond over there. I get way too many messages on LinkedIn to respond to every single one. I'm really sorry. Okay, Omar Hayat. Good luck, man. I flopped last week too. Hey, this is what we wanted. I love this community we're building over here of really like supportive people. So let's keep at it. Gasser Abdul Rahman. How is domain knowledge important in working as a data analyst? I think it depends on the industry you're working in. Obviously, some industries it's more important than others. Or let me rephrase that. It's always important. Now, as far as getting into a job, a lot of jobs you can like learn the domain expertise like as you're like joining. But as you get more experience, you'll probably be more pigeonholed into a certain industry. So that's something to watch out for if you're not interested in the industry you're going to be working in. But as a data analyst, domain expertise eventually becomes very important. Not at the beginning though. Like, I have no what I would call like real domain expertise. I'm just good at manipulating data. All right. Oh, hey, what's up, John David? What is the best dish soap for data for analysts? The easiest one to use, I just use a Cascade one I can throw inside the dishwasher. Okay, can you do AKS? Can you do what you in Python and Java data manipulation? I think so. I mean, Java's a general purpose programming language. I don't see why you couldn't. I don't know, but I don't see why you couldn't. Dark Food, what advice do you have for someone who is looking to apply for analyst jobs with absolutely no relevant experience? Take whatever you've done and make it relevant. Everyone on their resume, like it's a open secret in the corporate world that everyone just manipulates their experience to say, oh, I did X, Y, Z, and it's relevant to this thing over here. So without lying, obviously, if you like, don't lie, but like I would say like heavily change the way you word your experience to like show that you have experience. And I'm actually going to be making a resume video in the near future where I show you guys how to like word your resumes, because I went to school in a school that had like a big business school, and the business school people were so much better than us chemistry students at writing resumes, and I learned a lot from them. So I'll put out a video on that because a lot of technical people don't know how to write resumes. Actually, it's something that I found out. So definitely something I'll be working on. Big fan from Chile over here. Awesome. Chile is another country I really want to go to. Just the I hope everything's okay over there. I heard that there were protests and stuff going on, but definitely a country I really really want to visit. Linear algebra, very useful. So once you start getting into machine learning, linear algebra is incredibly useful because you'll be doing a lot of like matrix math in order to optimize algorithms. But like, so for example, if you're following my series on on machine learning, I have a series where I go through Aurélien Garon's book, Hands-on Machine Learning with Scikit-learn, TensorFlow and Keras and everything. Then you'll see that he uses a lot of linear algebra in his stuff. And like, I don't actually know it, but I'm like going to be picking it up soon. So what I'm doing is I'm going through that book once without focusing too much on the math, more focusing on the application. And then I'll go back after I've applied some of the stuff and focus on the math. Because I think trying to learn everything at once is a bit intimidating, nor does it really work. Okay. Red mash beats. Is it enough to learn querying in SQL, or do I need to learn designing DBs? Querying should be enough, unless you should eventually learn how to design DBs, but I don't think you need that for an entry-level job. How to find motivation to code? Oh, that's a good one. I will definitely say I was kind of lucky in that like I wanted to learn basically as soon as the pandemic started. So I had nothing else to do. So like for me, it was a little bit easy. How to find motivation to code? That's a tough one. I think one technique you could use is just say, I'm not going to leave this computer space, like the area of my computer, for 3 hours. And, you know, like, by forcing yourself to sit in that one place, as long as you, like, avoid going to a bunch of, like, distracting websites, you'll, like, you know, you'll just be you'll be like, okay, I might as well learn at this point. So I think that's something you can do. Okay, Ron, okay, thank you for the answer. Good one on pronouncing my name. Awesome. Okay, red mash beats. Okay, what are the entry-level analyst skills? Where to learn it to get a job? That's a really broad question. Let me come back to that one. I'll make a video on that one. That's a really common question I get. Yellow Gamer HD. I'm currently studying for a CS degree, but I'm not finding coding very fun. I find it hard to learn more about it. What kind of tech jobs? Okay, product manager, my bad. So product managers are very, very desirable roles. They get paid a lot of money, and they don't have to code. They don't have to do a single line of code. And that being said, I'm not sure if a CS degree is a good idea if you don't like to code. Just my advice. As someone who got a chemistry degree and hates chemistry, I would not force myself to spend 4 years getting a degree in something I didn't like. OEXGO, thanks for your answer. I became an Excel expert, nice, by myself, and now I discovered this world. I'm pretty excited to become a data analyst. Awesome. Yeah, no, Excel is a tremendous tool, and you'll keep using it, you know? I think if you learn Tableau, you'll start to see where Excel makes sense and where Tableau makes sense, you know, and I think that's where, that's what you'll start to see. Sophie Kui, I'm a new data, okay, so you're definitely new. I'm a new data analyst in the health tech industry, nice. And I will go into office next Monday for my first day of work. Any advice for a new data analyst? Well, congratulations on the new job. Any advice for a new data analyst? Are you right out of college? Because if you are, there's like some advice I give you that's different from like other advice. I would say just relax and start diving into data as soon as possible and ask as many questions as you can about everything in the data. Just knowing where to access stuff, like you'll be surprised in how many companies, like people have no idea where to access stuff. So definitely that's something that I would like really focus on, like learning how to like where all the data exists and how to get into the databases. So do that as fast as possible, and you'll become a lot more useful to the company. The more useful you are to the company, the more easily you get promoted. You know. Adil Zubair, really surprised that those ML videos don't do so well because I found your channel from the Chapter 2 tutorial. So the Chapter 2 tutorial actually did pretty well, but yeah, the other one's just dumped. I'm not really sure why. Alejandro De La Cruz, another UTD student. Yep. UTD is a great school. Half my friends went over there because I'm from Dallas, Texas. I went to a high school in Dallas, Texas, so great school. Whoosh! Yeah, whoosh. Discord link. So the Discord link is actually, if you join my Patreon, then you get onto the Discord for Praveen. Adil Zubair, yes, okay. Best courses for Python, my course. Go onto my YouTube and get my course. If not that, then Data Camp has a great course. And And I'm not really sure. I kind of just learned it by myself. Kaggle. Kaggle has tremendous courses. Hey, Nerve, thank you so much. Okay, Daniel Garcia Rodriguez. What's your approach to communicating your results to stakeholders with little or no tech or math knowledge? Okay, if you used Python to create your thing, remove all of your code from all of your presentations. Do not show anyone any code unless they know how to code. Because the second people see that monospaced font, they get really intimidated and they start forgetting about everything you're saying and everything. So remove as much as possible. Only give bullet points and lots of visualizations. That's definitely advice I would give you. And it's very, very tempting as someone who's technical and as someone who built up this big thing, you've been working hard on it, to go to every little detail of it. But ask yourself, okay, what does this person need to know? And only communicate that. And then obviously answer questions they may have. But it's very tempting to want to explain everything. But people do not care. They only care about what they need to know, which is fair, So that's my advice. Sarkhan Mamadli. Are data engineering skills also important to data analysts? I think it's good to know. You don't have to be an expert on it, but I think it's good to pick up some. Gus Costa, what skills are most important for a data analyst in finance? Okay, I don't actually know much about finance, but there's this great guy, Brian June, spelled Jun, and I think his name is spelled Bryan. So he was a former investment banker. I think he's a little bit younger than I am, actually, and he has a YouTube channel that is about as big as mine. And he might be able to tell you a little bit more about that kind of stuff. Okay. What are a strong amount of projects to start your portfolio? Yeah, 2 or 3 is good. Make sure they're good. That's the big thing. YOLO Gamer HD. Okay, thanks for the advice. I'm already 2 years into CS degree with 1 year in the industry and final year left. So for me, I think I'm too deep to. Yeah, okay, that's fair. And the good thing is, if you're leaving with a CS degree, people that's a great degree to leave with. So in your case, do whatever sounds right for you. But if you leave with a CS degree, that's a tremendous degree to leave with. What is IBM Cognos? IBM Cognos is their machine learning platform in the cloud, I think. It's kind of what is it called? Amazon SageMaker, I think. Sahit Karadog. Man, I love your channel. Greetings from the Netherlands. Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for joining. It's awesome to see people here so late in the day. I know. I'm really sorry because it's if you're in India, it's early in the morning. If you're in Europe, it's way early in the morning. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know if there's a better time for me to get on. I work in the US, so I just got off of work. So this is very convenient for me, but I can always go at a different time. Gasser Abdurrahman, what do employers generally look for in entry-level jobs as a data analyst? Do they look for your degree and willingness to learn? So the way I see it, you can't do anything about the degree. You either have it or you don't. So don't worry too much about that. The stuff that you can show them in an interview and stuff is a willingness to learn, because almost no one actually knows what they're doing when they enter the workforce. It's so different from college, and it's so different than anything else you've done, that a willingness to learn is the single most important characteristic. And I've interviewed entry-level candidates for data analyst positions. It's always what I look for, because I don't assume they really know that much. They may know how to code and stuff, but a willingness to learn is by far the most important thing. Berkey Adas, I'm a psychology MA student, nice, and I love to working on data science. What's your advice for me? I want to become a new data analyst. Watch my channel. I'd say learn Tableau or Power BI, some kind of data visualization tool. That is an easy way to create a lot of value in analytics. I think data visualization is a tremendous place to start because it's super easy to do and there's a lot of value to be derived from that. Okay, Nerve, have you ever Sarkam, how often do you scrape data from the web? For my day job, never. For my clients, often, because they're easy jobs to do on Upwork. So actually, the inspiration for me to start Upwork and freelancing was I saw a video where some guy basically scraped a website in 10 minutes and made $200. I can definitely so those jobs are not particularly common anymore, but making a lot of money by just scraping some data off the web is still something you can do on Upwork. It's becoming less common, but it is there. Nerve, have you ever gotten jobs through recruiters? If so, how does it feel? Okay. So I've gotten a lot of job offers through recruiters, and but they never are at companies I personally care to work for. So yeah, it's not worked out for me. I was actually thinking about this idea. So in my Discord group, I'm thinking about just redirecting people who like job offers or not job offers, interview offers I get to people in my Discord group. So let me know if you guys think that's a good idea. The only problem I see with that is that people in my Discord group tend to be a little bit less experienced than me, which is perfectly, that's no issue with that at all. So I have to like make sure I can actually like in good faith recommend them. Okay. Grayson F, do you have any advice for learning the statistical fundamentals you need to work with R and RStudio effectively? I am actually not the best person to ask that because I'm learning them myself. So I'm kind of learning them through that machine learning book I was talking about, hands-on machine learning with TensorFlow, Keras, and what's it called? I think Kaggle might have some courses too. Kaggle has a ton of great courses in this stuff, but I'm really sorry. I'm not exactly sure how to, or I don't think I can give a great answer to that question. Daniel Garcia, thank you for answering my question. I've been working on improving my communication skills. Yeah, of course. I think the thing that really, like, the people who get promoted the fastest in like typically tend to be, assuming that it's a somewhat meritocratic organization you're working for, right? Obviously you can, like organizations can be corrupt and everything. Or the people who can like make good insights, but they're not necessarily like the best analysts. They're the analysts that can communicate their insights really, really well, which is important. At the end of the day, there is probably a lot of value lost in corporations just because of bad communication. So, I'd say that's really important. Dark Food 4, what kind of projects do you recommend working on? Do you have any tips for making a good project to showcase your skills to employers? A project on a subject you're very interested in. So I have a coworker who is a data scientist, and I'm guessing she was interested in beauty, like makeup and stuff like that. And so she did an entire like data science project on like the variation of like skin tones in foundations or something like that. It was super cool, and it was different, so that's why it was like cool to listen to. YOLO Gamer HE, you mentioned product manager for me. Is this role possible to obtain as a new graduate? Not really. So you kind of, usually those are experience roles, but you can get it with less than 5 years of experience, like an associate product manager or something like that. So like I have a friend who he's non-technical, and you don't need to be technical to be a product manager, but he's non-technical, and he has less than 5 years of experience. Now he's an associate product manager, and he's an H-1B too. So like it's more difficult for him to get hired than someone who like has a green card or U.S. citizenship. So yeah, I would say probably not as a new graduate, but there are probably some jobs out there. Gotcha. I have had the same experience. Recruiters often reach out to me on LinkedIn or often offering contract. Yeah, exactly. I have not been lucky enough to get positions at like companies I'm particularly interested in through recruiters, but I'd say always just keep it open. Like it may eventually come through. Sanjay P. Okay, dude, every company's asking for 4 years of experience and 6 gold medals for. yeah, dude. It's actually insane that. Yeah, companies are freaking like okay. So I've been on the other end of like hiring people. And like it's amazing. You like as a hiring man. So I wasn't the hiring manager, but I like me and the hiring manager were like best friends. So he would like he would like like have me tag along for the journey of like like getting hiring someone in, right? Yeah, and you give them requirements, and then HR managers will just like add a bunch of random extra stuff on top of it. So yeah, it's something you notice that's totally true, and that's why I say like you don't have to have every qualification to apply for the jobs that are out there. You really don't. Because those people almost don't exist, or if they exist, they will demand way too much money. So, something to remember, guys. Iverson Lopez, I really want to get data analyzing. The first steps I should take and how and where should I watch my channel, take my Tableau course, take my SQL course, take my Python course. They're all free, and they're on my channel. And those are 3 core skills those are 3 skills that will make you a very attractive candidate to people in the workforce. R or Python. I'm very much a Python guy. So I actually a couple of years ago I was trying to decide like which language I should learn, and I picked Python because it's a general purpose programming language. R can do a lot of stuff too, but it's not a general purpose programming language. And like my whole idea was that if this whole analytics thing doesn't work, then at least I can like take the Python knowledge and become like a developer or something. Eduardo Miguel, I'm an ecologist with shallow knowledge of programming, a bit of R and NetLogo. Okay, cool. Straightforward knowledge and statistics is data analysis a better way than tech-related courses? Yeah. I'd say data analysis is probably better for you. P.S. I'm from Brazil. Nice. Cool. Where in Brazil? Thanks, dude. Keep killing it with your vids. Thank you so much for Yellow Gamer. So Keynote 024, starting a master's in business intelligence and data analytics in the fall. Currently an analyst, Excel. How long should I wait in the 2-year program before applying for data science engineering jobs? I'd say apply as soon as possible. If you can get a job immediately, then like the earlier you get a job, the better, right? As soon as you are able to take a job, start applying. You know, people ask how early should I start applying for internships and jobs. In my opinion, as early as possible. The best experience is not the experience you get in school. The best experience is the experience you get in the workforce. As a corporate guy, that's what I care about. Okay, Dark Food 4. Would you consider making a tutorial on how to start a project, clean the data, answer questions, and visualize? Yeah. I will definitely do that. I like Python. I like Python a lot for my purposes because it doesn't only handle requests; it can also connect to databases, FTP. Yeah, exactly. Speedotan. What is your day-to-day as a data analyst? My job as a data analyst at an agency seems really different from yours, but I want to do what you're making videos of. Yeah. Okay, so it's very project-based. So basically, what happens is I get a project from some business group, right, and then oh, cool. I get a project from some business group. I take it, and then I go ahead and I gather requirements. I go look for the data. You know, the company I work for is large enough to where we have like 1 billion databases, so I have to go ask like 30 different people for the data. And after I get all the data, then I write all my SQL queries, and then all my Python scripts I need to like get the data cleaned up. I put it into a Tableau dashboard sometimes I don't. And then I present the results to whoever needs it. That's the basic workflow. LOL Sam, I'm pivoting to web dev. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, web dev is great. There's a lot of opportunity there, and you can get in pretty quickly. So I'm gonna do it like this. You guys can see me washing stuff. Okay, so hey Torque from Norway, welcome. You're from Cortiva, southern Brazil, 400 kilometers from São Paulo. So are you close to Argentina in that case? And then Sarkon, maybe it's a stupid question. No such thing. There's nothing as a stupid question. There are only what I call lazy questions, where like someone could have like looked up something, but they chose not to. But there's no such thing as a stupid question. Are there any? While working at a company, how do you get the data, or are there any special? So I think it depends on how independent you want to be to an extent. So I've worked at a medium-sized company, and then Nordstrom's not like a Google-sized company, but like it's a it's a large company. And over there, what happens is the engineering teams have to put data into databases for us. But back when I worked at a smaller company, I would just find the raw data source and put it into the database myself. And that's kind of where I like learned a lot of the skills I have, basically just out of necessity. So yeah, you'll usually have other people putting the data into databases for you, and sometimes even running queries for you. So it depends on the size of the company. Okay. I was a previous data science grad, and I also chose because a lot of concepts are transferable. Yeah. I think the great thing about Python is it's so used everywhere, and that's why I learned it. So even if you don't like data science in like 5 years, you can always just do something else then with it. That depends on the company and their processes usually. Yeah, NERV is exactly right. Yep, depends. Every company will have different processes for that kind of stuff. So, and it depends on the size. I think the size of the company has a huge effect on that. And also, like, how independent do you want to be? So, like, I'll like set up my own ETL processes, even though like, engineering may not like be the absolute happiest with it because it's it's just faster sometimes. Thanks, brother. Of course, Kino. Which are ML algorithms you commonly use? So I actually am working on a project so I'm working on a machine learning platform at a company. And one aspect of it is that we need the insights from it to be, what would you call it? They need to be understandable. So I'm working on explainable AI right now. I can't go too in depth into it, but if you just look up explainable AI and like different tests you can use for explainability, you'll start to see what I work on. And then in my like consulting work, I don't use machine learning at all. Like none of my clients need machine learning. Some people do, but like there's so much like opportunity with people that don't need machine learning for like freelancing stuff. My freelancing stuff's like a lot of visualization usually. All right, what do we got? Okay, SQL, MySQL, Postgres, SQL Server, Oracle DB. What's the best to learn? Are they all the same? Just learn SQL. Don't learn all of them. Just learn one of them, and then in an interview, the first question I always ask is, which type of SQL are we using here? So one, it tells the person you know what you're talking about, and then two, you can cover your bases. So for example, I don't know Postgres. They're very, very similar, but like there are some things that are different. So for example, like I recently put out a video on my TikTok and my YouTube Shorts on on an interview question for data analysts, where we needed to get the top 50% of results from a query. And in SQL Server, you can just type in top 50%. Like you can literally just type that in. But in Oracle DBs, you can't do that. And in SQLite, which is what I was using, you can't do that either. So yeah, I would say just go ahead and learn, like, just learn whatever database is most available to you. And no one can learn all of them without like a practical need to, so I just learned one of them. That being said, SQL Server is super common because Microsoft owns the world. Okay. How do you? Oh wow, we got a lot of questions here. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So I'm gonna see if I can like go down them a lot faster. That way people can actually like get their questions answered. Finance data field. I'm struggling with is a collaborative community, or is there a way for teammate with others to make any recommendations? Okay, so Tarek asked, I just shifted my career from finance to the data field. The point I'm struggling with is okay. So I'm thinking about doing these like work with me sessions where basically like I just like, live stream and I just like work for 25 minutes, take a break for 10 minutes, answer questions, do another 25 minutes. So I'm hoping that might be helpful for you. But Kaggle is awesome. They're great communities over there. And then of course Stack Overflow, I use it all the time. Sanjay P. Also, ML positions in FANG companies are asking DSA plus ML design scaling round. So you have to, in a way, prepare for software development or SD engineer. Yeah. So you have to understand, like, I have this working theory, right? That like every company has like the people who are like the core of the company. So the first company I worked for, it was the salespeople. They were the most important people because they drove revenue. But at a company like Facebook, for example, like since you mentioned FANG, obviously the engineers are kind of the center of the company. Like because all the people that made those companies were like engineers to start off with, and like they're all tech companies. They have to invest a lot in their engineering apparatuses. So yeah, that would make sense that a lot of stuff is like focused on. So Speedotan, yeah. So I'm a bit slow to respond to LinkedIn requests only because I get so many. So I mean, if you look at the size of my channel, you'll start to see like, yeah, a lot of people send me LinkedIn requests. But feel free to send me one, yeah. 90 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean. Argentina is almost 600 kilometers to the west. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Brazil's a huge country. One more thing, is Python really needed, or can I handle it with just, yes. Okay, if you already know R, just learn that, Don't worry too much about Python. How much coding is there in data science as a rough percentage of job duties? Also, data science and data analytics the same thing. So data science is quite different. Right, so data science is gonna okay, so I kind of have I think of an inverted pyramid. So think about a pyramid that's upside down and stuck in the ground, right? At the ground level is the customer. If you're working at a company, right? Like, so it's the customer. And then below that are like sales reps and other people who like interact directly with customers. And then below that is corporate. And obviously if you're in a B2B business, and corporate could be the level below. Data analysts work a level below salespeople and stuff. And data scientists work a level below them. What I'm saying over here is that basically as the problems get more complex, they go down. But the further down you are, the more removed you are from the customer as well. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of like, in my opinion, like the actual difference between a data analyst and a data scientist. Data scientists tend to be more removed from customers because the problems they work on are more complicated. Okay, let's see. How do you overcome the failure? What do you do to motivate yourself? That's a really good question. So I actually graduated college with a really, really bad GPA, a really bad undergraduate GPA. And I'm not a dumb guy. Like I did quite well in high school, and so it was a real shock to me when I graduated with just such a bad GPA, and I thought everything. So the point of what I'm saying is that was a big failure for me. College was a failure for me, really, in many ways, not in all ways. I met some tremendous people over there. I made some of the best friends I could ever ask for. And in those ways, in what I say is are the important ways, it was a success. For me, it was kind of just putting my head down and working. And if you work and you have a good process, then eventually the results will come, and that's all we can do. I think not worrying about results is a good way to motivate yourself and get out of a rut. So if you watch American football, there's this really famous coach called Bill Belichick, and he's basically the coach of the best team in the league, and he has this saying, "Trust the process." basically what it's saying is you can't control the results of anything you do. You can only control the process and how much time you put in, and how good is your process, and are you constantly improving it. And basically he's saying, as a team, the New England Patriots, we do not worry about results. We worry about the process and perfecting the process, and that's why we succeed. So I think that's one way to motivate yourself. Just focus on the process. Don't focus on results. Don't focus on like the money I'm making right now or anything. Focus on like, what can I improve today? And the only person you should ever compete against is yourself. Bruno Almeida, please help. Hello, I'm studying finance and my university offers a minor in data analytics, but I'm afraid to do it because I'm not that good at math. I don't think you need to be good at math for data analytics. So I definitely do it if you think so. Nerve, you'd be surprised how much of the data world is super simple summaries. Oh yeah, for sure. People get all up and crazy about like machine learning and stuff, which is totally useful and everything. But like, there's so much value to be like derived from like just basic summary statistics and visualizations and stuff like that. Is it real? Okay, so Tomek Stolarski. Hey man, this is so random. I am in a position where I have a business initiative whereby I try to collect data based on characteristic traits matching them to potential careers. Oh, that's pretty cool. Good stuff. Bruno, is it really a lot of math? I think because I see people in the area use a lot of Python and programming languages and math, I'm not sure I would like analyzing. Well, if you don't like analyzing data, then maybe you should definitely you should like really think about getting into like analytics. But it's not. I wouldn't call analytics a ton of math. At least not complicated stuff. And even programming, like I choose to use a lot of programming in my analyses, but a lot of my coworkers don't. So it doesn't have to be a lot of programming. Eduardo Santos. I am starting with the DA area, and I recommended to learn about version control with Git. I'm liking it because it seems a lot. Yes. Git is a great thing to learn about. Maya Okindo, how did you start? How did you get in freelancing? Would you recommend it to a new data analyst? Oh, hey Maya. Okay, so I've been waiting for you to get into one of these live streams because you comment a lot on my other stuff. If you're brand new, like you're brand new to the workforce, solidify yourself in your job first. Make sure that you're performing well, you're moving up there, because you will make a lot more progress in your corporation first than you will in freelancing. And then after you've gained a good foothold, then I think it's great to go into freelancing. Because freelancing will give you a good diversity of skills. It'll teach you a bunch of stuff you wouldn't learn in your day job. Raheem, what personal projects can I do to break into data science? I'm finding it hard. Find a topic you're very interested in and do a project on that. So the answer is really short because I've gotten this question about 3 times in this stream. Madhumita Chakrabarti, okay. MBA in finance or business analyst? Where should I go for BTR? What does BTR mean? Maya Okindo, Tina Huang has a Discord channel where you can collaborate with other people. Yeah. I mean, and if Tina Huang has like great videos and stuff, so I highly recommend watching her stuff as well. Tomek Stolarski, would you recommend first creating a survey and then analyzing the results manually, creating the outcome, and then consequentially over time creating an algorithm that automates the Yeah, no, that sounds like a good way to do it. So I'm always of the opinion that start very simple, like get the simplest thing that actually works, and then go from there. The new normal. Could the pre-processing part in DA ever be automated? Oh yeah, it's being automated all the time. That being said, so here's the thing, people talk about like stuff being automated away all the time, and it's totally going to happen. More and more stuff is going to be automated, but once you actually start like trying to automate stuff, you'll realize that like if the process changes even a little bit, then all of a sudden the automation breaks. And of course, like RPA is getting smarter and stuff, and like it can like do better like data cleaning and data pre-processing, but we still live in the world for like at least the next decade. We're going to need lots of people to pre-process data, so I wouldn't worry about it right now. Data analyst is like one layer removed from the client. Yeah. Tomek Solarski, hope you're able to see the follow-up comment. So I believe I answered your question. Let me know if I didn't answer your question, Tomek. Eduardo Miguel, thanks, man. I'll be more prone to run for a job on data analysis after my master's. After your advice, I'll keep looking for your data and best of the awesome. What kind of company hires for this kind of job? Abhinav Singh, how much Python we need for proper data? It's like I have gone through the basics and NumPy and Pandas and Viz I use. Do I need advanced coding practice? I think that's enough for an entry level job. Because you asked that question, right? But it depends on how advanced you need to be. So I think for an entry level job, like the video I have, if someone knew how to do all that, I'd be like, oh, this is more than good enough for an entry level job. So One thing I should definitely say is like every company's gonna have different requirements. Every team's gonna have different requirements. But I would say like the video I have, like, you know, I've talked to a lot of people about it that like work in the industry. I've talked to hiring managers. I've, you know, worked with hiring managers myself, and like it covers what you really should be, what you should know for an entry level job. Can an MIS degree help? Yeah, MIS degrees are awesome. Roberto, hi man. It's possible to work as a data analyst for a company of the USA. I'm in another country. No. The U.S. is very strict about work authorization. You can work as an employee in your country, but that also means you're making your country's money. So I'm not sure what you're trying to get at over here. But America is like really strict about like authorization and stuff. That being said, look in Canada. Canada is way easier to immigrate to, and like salaries are great, and it's like the same thing as the U.S. in many ways, except in many ways it's just better, really. I have a cousin who was able to get permanent residency before he even got a job there. And now his wife got a job, but you know, the point is like the permanent residency process in the U.S. is like 10 years long. So, you know, Canada might be something to look into. Can you recommend any course for data engineer to do Parva vlogs? Unfortunately, I can't. I'm not a data engineer myself, nor have I ever taken a course like that. I would assume that Microsoft and Amazon offer these courses as part of their certifications for Azure and AWS. So maybe there's something there. Oh, and I think Google might have one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kuma, what certification do you recommend for getting a biz or data analyst? The Google Data Analyst certification is a good one. That being said, something I should definitely communicate. When you apply for a job, at least in the U.S., no one cares about your certification beyond like what can you actually communicate in an interview. The certification itself doesn't really mean much. It's just good for learning. Tomek Stolarski, okay. Kostub Sharma, take part in Iron Viz. Iron Viz, yeah, it sounds really, really cool. Starting out, man, how important is credibility when analyzing results and drawing out conclusions? Do you relate to real life studies, or do you trust your own findings? I mean, obviously, if you can like relate it to real life studies and stuff, that's great. But I don't see the problem as long if you can clearly explain your train of logic. Most people are more than happy with that. So. Cool. Wow, that was hard. But I got through every single question. So yeah, I mean, you know, if anyone has like, you know, I can answer maybe like 3 more questions or something. Okay, for someone who knows nothing about data analyst work, how long do you think it'll take to learn proficiently? Where should one start? Okay, so if you want to learn how to be a data analyst, then watch my video on. I have a free course on Tableau, a free course on SQL, and a free course on Python, where I teach you assuming you know nothing. Follow those 3 videos. If you know those 3 things, like if you know the content in those 3 videos, like I would hire you, you know? And I think that's enough to be a data analyst. Of course, depends on what, like, course, I mean, depends on, like, you know, what country you're in and what company you're applying for and all that stuff. Okay. Do you relate to real life studies, or do you trust, okay, so Kuma for how long? Okay, Jesse Morales, advice on landing internships, start early, apply often. It's a numbers game because you're a college student and you're going to be applying to like, you know, 30 against like 30,000 other people. So apply often, don't get discouraged. It's a numbers game. Oh, and customize your resume for as many companies as you can. So I have a friend, what she does is she has a mega resume that's like 5 pages long, and then she like will take out and add, like she'll like take out stuff depending on the job. So that way she can apply to like a bunch of jobs very quickly. She's excellent at applying to jobs. She gets a lot of interviews. Is the video recorded so one can go over it? Yes, so it might take like an hour or so for it to be posted, but it is recorded, yes. Bami delay. Maya, do you post about when you are going live? I actually don't, but I should start doing that. Let me start doing that. So the YouTube channel grew a lot faster than I expected to, so I haven't like gotten a chance to plan out a lot of stuff. So I'm kind of like learning on the job, you know, as you do with anything. So yeah, I will start posting when I go live more often because I think it's unfair to people for me to just like all of a sudden show up, but I will go live more often. Abhinav saying, I'm changing domain, but I'm getting Tableau dev role. Will it count for data analyst experience in my career? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And one thing you have to know, Abhinav, is that like you can turn a lot of stuff into data analyst. Like data analysis is so broad. You know, it can mean any number of things. So there's a lot of experience you can transfer and say, hey, this is data analysis experience. Is it possible to have a personalized Zoom call with you? I have a few things regarding my career path as a data analyst. Okay, so Costa, like, fair question. I am straying away from that right now, only because if I did that with one person, I would have to do it with like a ton of people, and I just don't have the time to do it. I may offer like a counseling service where I'm like, for $50 you can like Zoom with me for an hour or something. Let me know if anyone's interested in that. If you're interested in that, let me know. But long story short, I'm not going to be doing it for free only because that would get out of hand. So I hope you guys understand that that takes a lot of my time, and I have like a lot of other stuff I need to be doing. Like I also need to like live a life outside of analytics. And so I'm really sorry, but that the answer is no, not for free. And if you guys are interested, I can probably start a service, but I haven't started one yet. Okay, Ayur Huea. That's a cool name. Ayeur. Ayur. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's the first time I've ever seen that name. Is it better to go to a big firm and learn through many clients? And okay, this is a good question. So I think there's benefits to both. If you go to a big firm, you'll learn from some of the best of the best. But I started at a small company, and the good thing about that is that we didn't like have anyone to learn from. So I learned all these creative solutions to problems. So a big firm can give you a lot of expertise, but it can also like box in your thinking. A small firm will give you very little expertise, but it also frees up your thinking because you just have to, think of solutions yourself. Advice on landing your second job in the industry. My first job's been at a small company where I have a lot of responsibility but no mentors. I feel unsure of how to proceed to my next job. Okay, so that's exactly the position I was in. I started at a small company and then like I moved to a much bigger one. I would say write down exactly what you're looking for in your next job, and then it's just numbers then, right? And then write down every single company that can you can apply for that's related to that. Find any connections you have at those companies, send emails out to managers at those companies, and get your resume in front of HR, and then design your resume for the job you're applying for. I'd say that's some advice I would give you. But I will definitely put out a video on like a resume thing because technical people, I'm very much like I used to be a part of this too, do not know how to write resumes. It's something you like realize when you start hanging out with business people because people that go to business school this is what they spend 4 years learning how to write resumes. So. Oh, hey, Roberto, you're from Mexico. I love Mexico. I was in Mexico. I've gone to Mexico City twice in the last 3 years. Beautiful country. I went during Christmas and during La Semana Santa. So, like, it was crazy because Mexico City is known for, like, its crazy traffic, but, like, there was no traffic there at all. That being said, a lot of software work in America gets outsourced to Mexico. So there might be a company in Mexico that you can, like, go to that, like, does work with Americans. Something to look out for. Thank you, Jesse. Earl Harris, I'm doing the Google Data Analytics course. Do you think I can find a remote work being you when I finish my course? Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great course, and it's just about showing people what you're talking about. And the good thing is it's new, so not everyone has it yet. So I'd say finish it as fast as possible before there's a flood of people that have the certification. Sarkhan, have you tried to solve some programming challenges using LeetCode or other websites when preparing for a job interview? Yes, I did. I've used LeetCode like a lot. Yeah. Abhinav Singh, I hope you have a successful life and helping people goes a long way. Thank you. Of course, and that's I want most of my content to be free. I don't want to make it sound like I want to charge for everything. That's why I keep doing YouTube because I can put it out for free. But thank you so much, Abhinav. Kamal Martin, what kind of math should I start practicing before majoring in computer science? Linear algebra and calculus are very useful in computer science. Thank you for answering my question. Of course, Nerve. Okay, Maya. Yes, maybe you can figure out a regular schedule for doing lives. Also, for people asking for consulting, you can take your time and make paid course with all the info people are asking you about. Yeah. No, thank you so much for the encouragement, Maya. It's good to I'm really glad that people are supportive of the fact that it takes a lot of time out of my day to make these things. But I love making it for y'all. But it does have to pay out somewhere. Arun Kumar, have you worked on Salesforce? Yes, I've used Salesforce data before, just the data, and I've used a Python connector to get data from Salesforce automatically. So it's a great system. Earl Harris, thanks. You pronounced it correctly. Awesome. If you don't mind me asking, where's that name from? It's just such a cool name. Pace yourself and make sure you take care of yourself. Thank you so much, Maya. It's always great to hear people see that I'm not just a face on the screen. That I'm also a guy who has a life and stuff I need to take care of. But thank you so much for the encouragement. Sarkhan, how easy were LeetCode questions for you? They started off hard and then they got easier and easier. The thing about LeetCode, right, is that it's meant for software engineers, but I think people have kind of gotten obsessed with the Facebook method of interviewing, which is throwing a lot of these questions at you. And so companies that have no business asking these questions for the jobs they're hiring for are asking these questions. So they're good to learn. But yeah, no, LeetCode's a tremendous website. I think it's the best one out there. All right, so we are at an hour and 5 minutes. So I will probably answer like one more question if it comes through, and then I'll head out because it's a Friday night. I gotta go get my party on. Hey man, thanks for answering my question. Hope you could come in. Yes, and I will be sure to let you guys know before I come on live again. Only because um, I definitely need to plan out this YouTube stuff a little bit better now. All right. If that's all, thanks for the stream. Of course, Nerve. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining in. Nerve, this is the second time in two. I think was I streaming yesterday? I was streaming yesterday, right? Second time in 2 days you've been here. It's great to see you here. I have data answers sometime next week, and your live video on how data analysts works was so helpful. Oh, thank you so much, Ari. I'm really glad it was helpful. If anyone's interested, you can also follow me on TikTok. It's just good for my stats because I'm gonna post all of my. I put a post up earlier where I said like, oh, I'm gonna stop posting on what do you call it? YouTube Shorts. But then apparently TikTok is banned in India. So, a lot of my audience is from India. I don't want to make it inaccessible for them. So I went ahead and I put the information on TikTok, or that's on TikTok. I'm going to start putting that on YouTube Shorts still. Of course. Azerbaijan, cool country. Yeah, exactly. So I'm putting on in YouTube Shorts right now. But if you guys could help me, I'm actually trying to build out an Instagram too. So if you could follow me at, let's see. If you're interested, if you could follow me at Shashank Analytics, that's my Instagram. I'm trying to build that out too because I have a friend who works in social media marketing, and he basically said TikTok and Instagram are really great tools to funnel people into YouTube because YouTube doesn't have the best discovery tools. So if you guys are interested in supporting my channel, that's one way you could support it. Just follow me on Instagram and helping me pump up the numbers over there. Which part of India do you belong to? So my family is from Tamil Nadu. So we're Telugu, but we're from Tamil Nadu. My mom is from Chennai. My dad's from Thanjavur. So yeah, from the south. Yeah. But I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. And thank you so much for the Indian audience and the people who commented on that post and said that TikTok is banned in India. So I'll know. Let me post stuff on YouTube Shorts as well. But yeah, no, thanks so much for joining, guys. And I guess I'll log off. See you guys later. Have a happy weekend.